with this debt situation. Now, Congress is off for 2 weeks for the Passover and Easter holidays, but we're going to connect with what's happening in official Washington now. The president, well, I don't know that he's in town. He's traveling here and there, but it appears to still be on the clock. Let's check in with Fox News White House correspondent Mike Makrowitz. Thanks for joining us again. Mike, how are you this morning?
Well, I'm doing good, and yes, the president is still here. He leaves in, I think, a couple of hours.
He's got some town hall meetings and all kinds of things going on. He's been conducting interviews. He really has grabbed the limelight talking about the debt and the deficit situation and socking it to the Republicans, hasn't he?
Well, you know, we talk about the bully pulpit. That is, the president has the power of the attention of the American people. He can grab that in ways that, individual members of Congress or even entire parties can't do it. And with Congress out now in their districts, he's trying to use this vacuum here in Washington to his best advantage to sell his idea of deficit reduction, and that's included doing interviews here at the White House with local television stations. One of those didn't go all that well, but
that guy in Texas when he said, "Why don't you like Texas?" And at the end, I don't know what it was, they got into it, and then at the end when they were taking off the mics, the video was still rolling, and the president was really angry. He got on the guy for cutting him off, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He said, "Why don't you let me answer? Next time we do this." There's a big question whether there will be a next time.
Well, you know how these things work. Does that guy have a next time, Mike? I mean, you're in the game. I don't think he'll ever have the president's ear for an interview again. Do you?
We're not sure. He may have to wait for a change of administration. But, the president did those interviews. He did a town hall in Virginia. He's doing this Facebook town hall meeting going out to Palo Alto, California. He's going to be down in Nevada. Basically, he's campaigning for his vision of deficit reduction. And this is more than just a campaign over deficit reduction. This also happens to coincide with the beginning of his reelection campaign. And he's trying to show some clear differences between the way he'll do business and the way the Republicans would do business. He's saying that there needs to be shared sacrifice. That's the new code word for higher taxes on wealthier Americans, those making over $200,000 a year, $250,000 for couples. He believes that they aren't paying enough, they aren't doing enough to help get the nation out of its economic problems, and that they need to step up. And in fact, he said that pretty much directly in his speech the other day. And so the Republicans, on the other hand, are saying that, it's not that America doesn't tax enough, it's that it's spending more than it's bringing in, and that you need to bring the spending
well, and Paul Ryan
control.
said, Mr. President, if you jack up the taxes like you want to do, you're going to put the brakes on this economy. If you play that card, that's what's going to happen. And I don't think anybody understands economics and finance better than Paul Ryan in Washington, and I think the president even would acknowledge that.
And I think, Paul Ryan, who's, got a background in economics, and I think that, that's going to be the crux of this argument here. We're going to see this play out fairly early on, even though, the 2012 budget, there are going to be a few months before they need to really get into that. On about May 16th, somewhere right around mid-May is the calculation here. The United States is going to hit what's is known as the debt ceiling.
Right.
It is a statutory limit on what it can borrow. Now, in the past, Congress has simply raised it.
Yeah, they've done it 70 times, I think. It just becomes standard, but not now. Now the numbers and the situation have changed, and this is going to be some kind of showdown.
It's become very political. Back in 2006, when a Republican was in the White House, many Democrats, including the one who is now president, voted against raising the debt limit, saying that it was irresponsible and would wreck the economy, and that there needs to be fiscal discipline.
Obama and Reid both did that. They both now have to admit that was a mistake, and it was all politics.
And they have actually admitted that, and they're now saying that Republicans can't do the same thing. They need to raise the debt limit. Now, most Republicans, not all, most Republicans aren't arguing about whether we need to raise the debt limit. They're saying that that's okay, that needs to be done. But what they're saying is it needs to be coupled with some serious reforms on spending. Need to send a signal that, yes, we're going to increase the amount of money that we're borrowing, but we're on the path towards fixing this problem. The White House rejects that. They say the debt limit is a serious enough matter. It'll affect the markets. You just need to do it. And we can worry about the deficit reduction later. That's going to be a very interesting fight.
Let me ask you, Mike Makrowitz, the White House correspondent for Fox News, before I let you go. It seemed to me, I'd love your take on this, that it's more than coincidence that all of a sudden I just heard the president say, we can't continue down this path with the debt, $14 trillion, or it's going to have very, very serious impacts on this country. it seems to me more than coincidence that he would actually say that directly right after Standard & Poor's launched that shot across the bow saying that they're going to downgrade their prospects of the U.S. economy's future.
Right. That was.
I think it really rocked him.
Some shivers here through Washington, D.C., and probably strengthened the argument of the Republicans in that Standard & Poor's, which is very famous credit rating agency, said that the outlook for U.S. debt is now negative. It had been stable.
And we haven't had that done to us because I'm almost out of time with you. They're going to pull the plug on me. Standard & Poor's hasn't done that since the Pearl Harbor attack 70 years ago. So you're right. It's interesting to note that you would confirm that it really sent shivers through official Washington. White House correspondent for Fox, Mike Makrowitz, thanks so much for coming on Bud Hedinger Live again. We always appreciate you.
Bud, it was a pleasure.
Thank you. Have a great day. By the way, putting a button on this whole situation with Standard & Poor's, Forbes has really has written in great detail about this, Forbes magazine. But among the things they say is that Standard & Poor's is playing politics. Gary Kaltbaum said, well, why is it now that they're downgrading our prospects when it's been so evident that they deserve to be downgraded long ago? And Forbes says the bottom line is that the AAA rating on U.S. sovereign debt, which we have always enjoyed, is pure politics. That Standard & Poor's simply does not have the integrity to honestly rate U.S. debt. It has too cozy a relationship with the U.S. government and Wall Street to threaten the status quo. Given the culpability of the rating agencies in the financial crisis, Forbes says it may well be a quid pro quo that as long as the U.S. AAA rating is maintained, the rating agencies will continue to enjoy their government-sanctioned monopolies and that no criminal or civil charges will be filed related to inappropriately rated mortgage-backed securities. And Forbes says cynically, that's why Standard & Poor's waited so long. But finally, they had to do something given the shape we're in. Coming up next, of the three venues that Buddy Dyer envisioned for the city of Orlando, the one I always liked the best was the Performing Arts Center. They can't get it out of the ground, and I'm going to tell you why I think it is now time to put this Arts Center on permanent hold. See if you agree as we continue at 8:12.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, seeing some very slow traffic eastbound along I-4 from Cayley Avenue to make your way through the downtown area, easing up before Colonial Drive. We're also slow going eastbound just east of Lee Road into Maitland Boulevard, especially in the right lanes. On the ramp to Maitland, there is an accident. It looks like traffic is getting by around this crash, though. Westbound I-4, you're very slow from 434 into Maitland Boulevard, and some sluggish traffic westbound along the 408 from the Greenway into Goldenrod. From the traffic center, I'm Courtney Bright.
From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel, we pick up right where we left off yesterday. A warm and muggy start. 93 the forecast high for today, and we can't rule out a stray late-day thunderstorm. Late-day thunderstorms again tomorrow. Weather updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. I'm David Maddox at the Weather Channel.
Sunny, hot, and humid today, 93, 72 degrees right now. Good morning here on a beautiful Wednesday morning in Orlando. I want you to have a beautiful retirement. If it's retirement time for you or for your folks, listen to the Bud Man very, very closely. I want you to connect with Jack Nelson and Joel Garris of Nelson Investment Planning Services, and I want you to do it today, not for me, but for you or for your folks right at retirement age. And schedule with Jack and Joel at Nelson Investment Planning Services an absolutely free 2-hour consultation on the best way to get money during retirement, income from your assets, without just bleeding down those assets one after another until you've got nothing. It all gets complicated in retirement. Tax, Social Security, estate planning, investment issues. Jack and Joel understand all of this. They've been in business a long time, and they're real experts in matters of finance and investment, and retirement is right in their wheelhouse. How to get income from your money in retirement. Get some answers. Get some peace of mind. Secure your future in retirement. Schedule that free 2-hour consultation with Nelson Investment Planning Services, where they will never do anything with your money they haven't already done with their own money. Schedule it. It's free. 407-629-6477. Please tell them the Bud Man says, hey, they are great folks. 407-629-NIPS.
Traffic on Air Online, a service of Serrata Beach Resort and Conference Center. Hey, Orlando residents, enjoy a slice of paradise about 2 hours away and with zero hassles. Serrata Beach Resort on St. Pete Beach has sugary beaches, Hollywood perfect sunsets, and more. Visit Serrata.com for details. Serrata, imagine it's all here.
If you have a legal issue that you're struggling with, I want to remind you about Walk-In Wednesday. I'm attorney Matt England with KEL. Come in anytime today from 8 to 8 to meet with one of our attorneys free of charge. No appointment needed. 800 New Laws, KEL. You have questions, we have answers. Kaufman, England, and Lind, Office Orlando.
At Saving Face Skincare and Massage, enjoy massages and facials at 40% off. Just $39 for a $65 value. An exceptional price for the extra pampering that Saving Face always includes with massage, facials, or nails. 407-883-5518 or savingface.biz.
There's nothing good about fire ants. They don't pollinate your roses. They don't make cute little sounds when they rub their legs together. All they do is build a big mound in your yard and bite the hell out of anyone who gets near it. That's their sole contribution to mankind. And that's why they have to die. It's that simple. You cannot rehabilitate a fire ant. You have to kill him, his little red friends, and that big fat queen down there making more fire ants. What you need is Orthene Fire Ant Killer from Ortho. You put 1 tablespoon of Orthene over the mound and you're done. You don't even water it in. The worker ants track it back into the mound. And here's the really good part. Everybody dies, even the queen. Now that's a rush. Orthene Fire Ant Killer from Ortho. Guaranteed to kick fire ant butt. Ortho. Defend what's yours.
Orthene Fire Ant Killer is one of the essentials for your southern lawn. For more must-have products, visit ortho.com/essentials.
You get up early. You work late. Weekends off? Not likely. Why? Because as a small business owner, it's more than your job. It's what you love. And you need technology that keeps pace with your passion. That's why Verizon delivers all the wireless solutions you need to make sure your business rules. Verizon technology gives you the power to enable growth and boost productivity. Because only Verizon offers an arsenal of advanced devices, powerful business apps, and mobile security safeguards, all backed by unrivaled customer support and the fastest, most advanced 4G network in America. More small businesses choose Verizon Wireless than any other wireless carrier because they know the small business with the best technology rules. Now get the lightning fast Thunderbolt by HTC for only $249.99. No rebate required, exclusively at Verizon. Visit any Verizon store, verizonwireless.com/smallbusiness, or call 1-800-BZW-4BIZ. Requires new tier activation and data pack. Early termination and other fees apply. Preference results based on third-party study.
Hey, have you been to Lucas Nursery yet? I'll tell you, once you have, you're going to be a customer for life just like we are, because there really is no place like Lucas Nursery where you stroll through acre after acre of everything that grows like I've never seen it grow anyplace else. Lucas Nursery, where the Lucas family has been working the same land for 4 generations, and it's just beautiful. Lucas Nursery, home of the biggest garden pottery collection in the Southeast. Lucas Nursery, home of the unique and incredible indoor butterfly encounter. The one and only Lucas Nursery, off the 417, easy to get to from anywhere. Redbug exit, corner of Slavia and Aloma, and you're there. Online, LUKASnursery.com.
This is Bud Henninger Live. They prove themselves worthy of the traditions behind them.
On 540 WFLA.
And equal to whatever tasks were ahead of them.
You know, I'm a guy. Well, let's see if we can flesh that out a little bit and go beyond that. Nice to have you with us at 8:19 here on BHL. I'm a guy who likes a great play, who likes a great show, who likes a great symphony. You know, and I wouldn't say that I'm the most cultured pearl out there. Okay? But I do enjoy these things, and I think these things are good for a society and good for a city. However, I think it is time to kill the Performing Arts Center in Orlando, or at least put it on permanent hold, and I will tell you why. Of Buddy Dyer's big 3 venues, the one that I always liked the most was the Performing Arts Center. Okay? A city like this should have something better than the Bob Car. Really. It's long outlived its usefulness. But we don't have the money to get it out of the ground, the Performing Arts Center. I really backed that venue more than any other because the people who wanted it went out and raised a ton of money on their own. Didn't rely on the government They tried to raise all the money they could, and I don't know, they raised $70 or $80 million. I could be wrong on that, but it was a huge number. And so I supported that because I thought, now that's the way it needs to be. This is worth backing if I'm going to back any one of the big three venues. You know, the arena, I had problems with that. We had a very good arena that was just 20 years old at the time, even less when we got into this. The Citrus Bowl rehab makes no sense to me at all, to the tune of $175 million when we do not have and never will have a home team. I mean, come on. So I backed, if I backed any of the three, the Performing Arts Center. And they're having financing problems. They have a big funding gap. And they're trying to close it, and they're going back and forth, and Mayor Dyer wants to get the thing out of the ground. I know Teresa Jacobs, the mayor of Orange County, wants the Performing Arts Center, but, you know, she really is fiscally responsible, and she's really concerned that we simply can't afford to get started on this. But there is something else that has come up on the Arts Center, and it is this. The number the Arts Center people have been giving us as to how much it would cost every single year once the Arts Center is built, if that ever happens, to operate it. What does that cost? $12 million is a number that we've been told. Well, Channel 9, kudos to them at WFTV, they got on the phone to Miami and said, they're telling us it's going to cost us $12 million to operate the Arts Center here. How much does it cost you to run your Arts Center every year? And reportedly, they started laughing on the other end of the phone in Miami when they heard $12 million. I'm going to give you the reality check that says to me, put the Arts Center on permanent hold in 60 seconds. 407-916-5400. 822, real-time traffic and weather together on the twos.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, eastbound I-4 is very slow from Michigan Street through the downtown area, easing up just before Colonial Drive. And we're also very slow eastbound just east of Lee Road, approaching Maitland Boulevard, mostly in the right lane on the ramp to Maitland Boulevard. There's a crash on the exit ramp causing for the backup in this area. Also sluggish westbound I-4 from 434 into Maitland Boulevard. And some heavy traffic as well westbound along the 408 from the Greenway into Goldenrod. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
Sunny, hot, and humid today with a high of 93, 73 here in Orlando now. So according to the report from Channel 9, when their reporter told the people in Miami who are connected to their Arts Center down there that we're told here by the Arts Center people that it's going to cost us $12 million in operating costs every single year, they laughed. They told them, get real. It costs us $39 million a year to operate our Performing Arts Center in Miami. If that isn't the last stake in the heart of this project, I don't know what is. This has got to, I hate to say kill it, because I don't know. Maybe there'll be a way at some point in time to be able to really afford to build this and to come up with a perpetual funding mechanism that makes the operating costs make sense. But we're not there, gang. This is a wants versus needs economy. The tough decisions that we continue to have to make in our personal lives every day are based in this economy, are they not, on wants versus needs. The Performing Arts Center is not a need. It is a want. And when you start talking about a reality check out of Miami like that it's more than 3 times what we've been told to operate an arts center, and I'm sure they're more or less equivalent, that's got to be the end of it. That's got to be the end of it. Do you understand what I'm saying? I love the arts. It's wants versus needs. And you want to be saddled with almost $40 million a year to run the arts center? If they can ever afford to get it out of the ground, I say absolutely no. Here's Ed in Apopka. Good morning at 824. Ed, how are you?
Morning, Bud. I was just thinking, we've got a perfectly good arena that's not being used. I wonder if they could renovate that into an art center.
Oh, I've said that many, many times, and I've been told they looked at it and said you really couldn't do it. Well, I've got to tell you, they ought to take a second look. It is criminal that they're going to demolish this building. It really, really is. You know what? It may not be everything you want it to be, but I will bet you for a very reasonable cost relative to the nearly $400 million in cost that the new Arts Center represents in construction, I will bet you, Ed, that you could get an art center far superior to the Bob car we have now.
Probably so.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks that makes sense. Maybe now they'll revisit it. But please, let's get real here. And people, start using some figures that make sense. Instead of trying to make the project look more attractive by lowballing on the numbers, on the operating costs, which is what it looks like has happened here. I'm sure they'd all deny it. The other thing, there's this thrill ride park that the municipal planning board here has just killed by a vote of 9-0. And I need to say something about this. They were going to build this down by Festival Bay on the north end of I Drive, pretty close to the Tangelo Park neighborhood down there, okay? And they were going to have more roller coasters than either Universal or Disney. And they said, because there were complaints about, well, it's going to be too noisy for the neighbors, they said they were moving all the big rides to the far end of the property away from the neighborhood. And by the neighborhood, they just have parking lots. And they said they could keep the maximum sound down to about 70 decibels, which they say is no greater than the street noise down there along busy International Drive, and I guess with I-4 on the other side. But the Municipal Planning Board said no to this. They said no to this, even though, I mean, this was controversial in Tangelo Park. There were some people down there in Tangelo Park and in other areas of the county who said, wait a minute. Yeah, maybe a little bit noisy, may mean a little bit more traffic, but it may mean a whole lot more jobs we don't now have. You know, so there was an upside here. And there were people in Tangelo Park who said, bring it on, I'd love to work there. And the Municipal Planning Board, not even one dissenting vote. Now, listen, the old Bud man's been around the horn long enough in this great town to understand how this town works. And you could waterboard everybody in the Municipal Planning Board, and they would deny this. But I believe it to be true. And I'm paid to have an opinion, and I'm going to exercise my First Amendment rights of free expression here. The big guys leaned all over him to kill this project. Universal right down the street, and Disney just a little farther out. They got a lot of influence in this town, and they didn't want the competition for these knockout roller coasters all over the place. I mean, top-of-the-line roller coasters were a part of this project. This is not about noise and traffic in the neighborhood. This is about the big kahuna, Mickey, and his little friend down the street that's getting bigger every day, Universal. And they didn't want the competition. And they got the vote the way they wanted the vote to go. I absolutely believe that's true. And if you don't, well, that's fine with me. But you don't understand how things work in this town. More coming up on BHL. Good morning at 8:28.
Did you know that technology today can allow mom or dad to age in their home with dignity? GrandCareFlorida.com will monitor your parents' activities using technology. Face it, mom and dad were always there for you, and GrandCare Florida is there to help you help them. Contact GrandCare Florida now and sleep better tonight knowing that mom and dad are happy and healthy. GrandCareFlorida.com. Technology for independent living. 1-888-375-8009 or online, GrandCareFlorida.com.
You know, I get such a kick when I come into work in the morning. There's no traffic. Really giving my Fountain Acura RL sedan a workout. This is high performance with some giddy-up and a command of the road. I'll tell you what fun it is to drive it. It's waiting for the Bud man right downstairs in the parking lot. Slick jet black, looks like it's going 1,000 miles an hour standing still. I love the Acura RL. I love all of the Acuras. I love Fountain Acura. They're a breath of fresh air in the car business. Wonderful folks to get to know and do business with. And now at Fountain Acura, the RL and their top-of-the-line SUV, the MDX, phenomenal financing rates on brand new ones as low as 0.9%. If you're already driving an Acura, I'm preaching to the choir. You know how great they are. But at Fountain Acura right now, you can upgrade your current Acura to a similar brand new 2011 Acura model with no money down and a similar monthly payment. They can make it happen. Go see how at Fountain Acura and tell them the Bud man says, hey, will you? They're on South OVT, just south of the Florida Mall. And online, you'll find them at fountainacura.com. The Budman here, and I hope you join me Thursday morning starting at 6. Well, the DOT is coming out with the new passenger rights for folks who are flying. I'll tell you what it means for you at the airport. Don't miss our daily Wall Street Journal report coming up at 6:33. And at 7, the fat police are about to put their stamp on your child's report card. What do you think of that? And at 8, Dr. K has the new Alzheimer's guidelines.
BHL in the morning.
The Budman here, and I hope you join me Thursday morning starting at 6. Well, the DOT is coming out with the new passenger rights for folks who are flying. I'll tell you what it means for you at the airport. Don't miss our daily Wall Street Journal report coming up at 6:33. And at 7, the fat police are about to put their stamp on your child's report card. What do you think of that? And at 8, Dr. K has the new Alzheimer's guidelines.
Bud Henninger, mornings on 540 WFLA.
From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel, today sunny with a high of 90, tonight clear with a low of 70, and tomorrow sunny with a high of 89. Get the latest news, weather, and traffic anytime at 540WFLA.com.
So tell me, do I make you mad when I say we need to put the Art Center on permanent hold when all of a sudden we find out that it's going to cost us vastly more to operate this thing if it ever can be afforded to be built than we've ever been told before, that the numbers just don't work, and we'd like an art center, but we don't need an art center? Wants versus needs, or am I just making sense to you? 407-916-5400. And am I too cynical when I tell you that thrill ride park that they wanted to build down in I Drive near Festival Bay near the Tangelo Park neighborhood with just all these killer roller coasters in it was killed by the municipal planning board, not because of concerns about traffic and noise, but concerns from Disney and Universal that nobody will ever admit to. They frankly don't want the competition in their backyard. They want a corner on all the big-time roller coaster rides, particularly Universal or the Islands of Adventure. It doesn't get any better than that. And they want to be the only game in town for the really big killer roller coasters. And they wouldn't be 407-916-5400. I just think that's exactly what's going on here. Nobody will ever talk about it. Nobody will ever admit to it. But I want you to understand. There's no way you can explain a 9-0 municipal planning board vote against this, particularly when they had dealt with the issue of moving the rides to the far end of the property as far away as you can and front-ending the parking, okay, so that they would have a noise buffer. And they'd done analysis that showed that the noise would be no greater than the street noise from the busy roads around the Tangelo Park neighborhood. You know, and there were folks in Tangelo Park and elsewhere who said, boy, I'll tell you what, I'd sure love to have the job opportunities in that thrill ride park. I'd love to have that. Now, as far as the Arts Center is concerned, this is, among the big three venues, this is the one that made the most sense to the Budman from day one. And if you've listened to me regularly from the old afternoon show and the morning show, you know that that is true. Totally opposed to a redo of the Citrus Bowl when it's used so seldom. And you've got a nice stadium that could be retrofitted out at UCF for another 20,000 seats to accommodate just about anything that goes on now at the Citrus Bowl. Makes no sense. The Arts Center or the Amway Arena, you can certainly make a strong case that as much as anything, that was like welfare for billionaires. God bless Rich DeVos and everything. But it really kind of held the city hostage and said, you better build this thing or you're going to lose your only pro team. And it was kind of, that's the way that whole deal went down. And we had a perfectly good arena, in my opinion. But that, as far as the Arts Center is concerned now, when Channel 9 calls Miami with the figure of $12 million a year to operate an Arts Center if we ever get it out of the ground, and the Miami people started laughing at them, the Arts Center down there, and says it costs us $39 million a year. You got to cut this thing loose, guys. I know it's a dream of so many and so many wonderful people, but the numbers are not there, and I can't support it anymore. That's it. Stop trying to get something out of the ground we can't afford to build, and stop lying to us about how much it's going to take to operate it. Be better than that. Tell the truth to we the people. It's always the best thing. 407-916-5400. Well, this is interesting. Up in New York, land of the linguini-spined liberals. Now, you've heard about this. Have you? They have camps all over New York State. 2,300 summer camps in New York State. I went to one of them, Camp Dudley, for years. Oldest boys' camp in America. My dad went there in Lake Champlain. I love summer camp. It was the best thing that ever happened to me when I was a teenager. Summer camp. Just terrific. When you get out there and you play ball and you run around and you do things you've never done before, you stretch yourself in every way, and it's all to the good. But now, the New York State health officials, I'm sure this is a board full of linguini-spined liberals, has attempted and finally gotten some pushback against a crackdown on dangerous camp sports that they want games and sports like wiffle ball declared dangerous and high risk for kids. Not to ban them, not to ban wiffle ball from being played, or dodgeball, or Red Rover, but so they can put a play at your risk label on it and then require the camp to pay a $200 registration fee and have medical staff on hand if they are going to allow the dangerous game of wiffle ball to be played. Is that the plastic ball with the holes in one side, Jeff, that allows you to throw a curveball like Nolan Ryan in his prime and then some, right?
It was back in my day, absolutely.
I used to love wiffle ball. You couldn't dent a Dixie cup with a wiffle ball. Give me a break. And this is dangerous. And dodgeball, we've talked about dodgeball before. Well, I've got this red mark on my leg because Ralphie threw the ball too hard. Oh, give me a break. But up in New York State, they tried to institute this play-at-your-risk policy, and really what it's all about is to extract a greater registration fee out of the 2,300 camps and make some money for the state, which is flat busted broke because of its liberal overspending policies. And the people of New York State, and they're not all a bunch of lefties. It's pretty conservative in upstate New York, where I used to live in Syracuse, and all across where the Erie Canal used to be. Albany, Utica, Syracuse, Buffalo, Rochester, Elmira, Binghamton. And there are a lot of conservative folks who said, this is nonsense. I understand what's going on here. And they have raised such a hue and cry that the health officials in New York have decided to pack it in, because people were protesting that you are trying to legislate fun. More than that, you're trying to legislate against fun at summer camp. And they finally had to say, I guess we're not going to be able to sneak this one through. Okay? They tried to sneak a wiffle ball by the people of upstate New York, and they struck out. Every once in a while, something really good happens. And that's the new headline out of New York. They're backing off on that proposal to try to legislate and regulate and stifle kids' fun at summer camp. Incredible. 8:42 on BHL as we continue on a Wednesday morning. Hey, Easter Sunday is coming up, and don't make Mom cook on Easter Sunday. Come on, she deserves something special. And here it is. Take her and the whole family to the grandest Easter brunch of all at the grandest place I know of, Orlando's Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress. I just love it. The Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress brunch has again been voted best in Orlando by Orlando Magazine. Well-deserved, and it gets the Budman's vote, too. No question about it. I really love the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress. Everything is first class. The food, the service, the atmosphere. And after brunch, you need to stroll around the grounds of the magnificent Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress. Spectacular. You'll feel like you're on vacation thousands of miles from home, but you're right here in Orlando. Easter brunch reservations still available, but you need to book this right now. Call my friends at the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress, 407-239-1234. Sunday brunch, 407-239-1234. Online, go to HyattRegencyGrandCypress.com and click on the open table link for your Easter brunch reservations. Oh, how'd you like to win Easter Sunday brunch for two at the incredible Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress, my favorite hotel? You can do it. Get in on the contest. Just go to our website right now, 540WFLA.com, keyword contest. Hey, you know, the Filatowski Cataract and LASIK Institute has an amazing opportunity for you through the Bud Man. Right now, a single email to me can save you $700 on the amazing high-definition LASIK from Dr. Conrad Filatowski that gave me remarkable 2015 vision more than 7 years ago, and I'm still seeing like a hawk today. All you have to do to get that savings card is just email me and ask for my special savings card, good for a total savings of $700 on high-definition LASIK. Just send the email now to bud@540wfla.com, as so many have, and I'm going to send you my special savings card. It's good for a remarkable $700 total savings on the same high-definition LASIK I had 7 years ago. I've said goodbye to glasses and contacts. You can, too. Your world's going to look great. And I'll tell you what, without the glasses, you're going to look great, too. Dr. Filatowski teams up with Dr. Angela Dempsey. Together, they are the most experienced LASIK surgeons you will find. Well over 45,000 procedures. And high-definition LASIK now more affordable than ever thanks to that $700 savings card from the Budman. Just email me at bud@540wfla.com and include your home mailing address, and bingo, just like that, I'll send you my special $700 savings card. Learn more. Call 800-I-EXAM. 800-I-EXAM. Please tell them the Budman sent you. Online, myvisionfreedom.com. It's clear to see why you should call Dr. Filatowski. We led the show with this at 6 o'clock this morning. Hard to believe it's been exactly 1 year since the oil rig exploded in the Gulf, Deepwater Horizon, killing 11 workers on the rig and triggering the biggest oil spill in American history. 5 million barrels of oil from that broken pipe under the Gulf gushed into the Gulf of Mexico. And to watch those sickening images week after week, month after month, and the failed attempts to cap this thing, it was just staggering. And it was depressing. And all you could think about is all this oil's got to go somewhere. And we're looking at a complete disaster. Now, I'm not going to minimize what it did to the economy of the Gulf, particularly in Louisiana. And I'm not going to minimize how painful it was to watch when all that oil washed up on the sugar-white beaches of Pensacola. And we wondered, what's next? That loop current that circulates in the Gulf of Mexico and, generally speaking, carries things down the west coast to Florida through the Keys back up the east coast, hugging the eastern seaboard, looked like it was just going to decimate the Keys. Looked like there was no way around that. Looked like it was going to be a big problem, particularly for Brevard County and the Cape area where it juts out. And then it could have clipped particularly the Carolinas and all the way, they thought, maybe into New York Harbor before this nightmare was over. And the doomsday scenario never happened, in part because we got lucky in the loop current, which doesn't flow on a consistent basis and is not configured the same all the time, just never really picked up all of that oil. It was kind of an eddy spinning around there, and the oil never really got dragged into the loop current, and thank the good Lord Almighty for that. But a year later, and we went live to the coast with a reporter this morning, from Fox News, there are still people whose livelihoods are destroyed, and parts of the economy there are decimated, and you still have a situation where people, are trying to run hotels and restaurants, and nobody will come to the beaches, and nobody will eat the food because they're still worried. Now, it's interesting, as I said this morning, where is all of that oil? The official government position is the microbes ate it. The environment just simply dispersed it and essentially cleaned itself up, which, if that's true, is just an extraordinary thing. But if that is true, how in the world, with gas headed for record highs, with the instability destined to continue in the Middle East, making the oil supply there tenuous at best for us, how in the world does the Obama administration, if the government's position is the oil's gone, how do they justify continuing the moratorium against offshore drilling? They got some splaining to do, as Ricky used to say on I Love Lucy. And, I've got something exciting coming up here in 60 seconds. We've got a winner to crown for the Entree Leadership Contest. This is a Dave Ramsey deal, and this is exciting. Next on BHL at 8:52, real-time traffic and weather together. Final look during the show on the twos. All right, Courtney, thank you. Sunny, hot and humid today. We're going up to 93, and it's only the 20th of April. 74 degrees here in Orlando. Okay, now, we are going to announce the winner in the Entree Leadership Contest to participate in the Dave Ramsey 7-Day Entree Leadership Master Series in May out at Walt Disney World, okay? I'm going to announce the winner. I know you're out there listening, gang. All the businesses in Central Florida are listening, hoping they're the winner. And the winner is Fix LLC. I hope that's how they say it. It's PHXX LLC, an 8-year-old technology company based in Longwood. They are the winners. Give us a call, Fix. Give us a call, 407-916-5400. This is a big deal. What they've won here is exclusive passes to the 7-day Ultimate Business Experience, May 15th to the 21st at Walt Disney World. And as part of this extended Entree Leadership Experience, they're going to get to work with Dave Ramsey one-on-one throughout the week on improving their business. 407-916-5400 for our winner, Fix LLC, PHXX in Longwood. You're our winner, 407-916-5400. Businesses from all across Central Florida sent in essays on their business for a chance to win the prize of a spot at Dave's Entree Leadership 7-Day Ultimate Business Experience at Disney World in Orlando. And that was a phenomenal prize. And Fix LLC has won it. They're an 8-year-old technology company, as I was saying, based in Longwood. They specialize in platform development for new media and online gaming. The company president and CEO, Shane Robinette, big fan of Dave Ramsey and 540 WFLA. And we're going to go right now to Nikki on Bud Hettinger Live. Good morning, Nikki. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Are you with this winning company?
I sure am.
How do you say it?
It's PHXX.
I thought maybe you went for the PH as an F and it was Fix, but you don't say it that way.
Our IT division is called Fix It.
So I'm not completely wrong.
No, you're not completely wrong.
Okay, so Nikki, what do you folks think?
We are so excited. My husband is the CEO. I'm the controller for the company, and we are actually going through Dave Ramsey's FPU. We're about to graduate in a couple of weeks, and we are so excited.
Now, tell me what your experience with Dave Ramsey has been. I mean, he's our financial guru. He's on right after Rush in the afternoons in my own time slot, and he's nationwide. He's syndicated on hundreds of radio stations. Your experience with Dave Ramsey, because I personally love the guy. I've known him for years, but you're working with him in a very, very focused environment, and you're all about having Dave Ramsey open some doors for you and show you the way business-wise. How is it with Dave Ramsey?
Well, personally, it's been great for us. We've paid off and canceled all of our credit cards and, are working on our baby step 3 to have our fully funded emergency fund. And we are just looking so forward to actually getting to meet him in person and see how we can, use his expertise in helping our business.
Tell us a little bit more about PHXX LLC in Longwood. I gave a thumbnail here based on material that I had, but you know far more than I do. You're the controller.
Well, we are a technology company. We do software development. We have a proprietary framework that we build our portals on that has been developed over the years by our development team. We have a lot of clients out in the Middle East. We're very big in the media delivery area of content being streamed over the internet onto TVs. We're very big in the online gaming, online video games area out in the Middle East and here in the States and Europe. So we're growing leaps and bounds right now, which is very fortunate in this economy. So
well, I got to tell you, Nikki, I have to tell you, Nikki, I have not personally read your essay, but it must have really been fantastic. Can you sum up what you said? Because that was the winning essay.
My husband, who's the CEO, wrote the essay, but we have in the past year to 18 months, we have grown from 14 full-time employees to 31. Our big issue right now, of course, with the lack of small business loans and that type of thing is just cash flowing our business.
But I have to tell you, the idea that you've been able to double your payroll in this economy in the last year and then some really speaks well. You've got something very special going there, and it has been recognized because your essay has been chosen as the winner, and you're the winner of the grand prize, a spot at Dave Ramsey's Entree Leadership 7-Day Ultimate Business Experience out at Disney World in Orlando, and you're going to be working directly with Dave. Well deserved. Congratulations to you, to your husband, to all the gang out at PHXX LLC in Longwood. Nikki, thanks for coming on the line, and you're our winner.
Thank you so much, Bud. We're so excited.
Okay, take care. 8:59 here on BHL. Glenn's coming up, followed by Rush, and then, of course, Dave Ramsey. What a lineup here. And we kick it all off on the 50,000-watt front porch with the Budman, Jenna, and Jeff every morning with you from 6 until 9. My take, your calls on the hottest topics in talk radio. We're already working on tomorrow's lineup. It's going to be an absolute powerhouse, and we will look for you then. Be careful. It's going to be maybe the hottest day we have had, and humid to boot. 93 is what they're forecasting, but we're off to a beautiful, beautiful start. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for being with us. God bless you, and God bless America.